Long ago, in a mythical land, there ruled an evil sorceress named Bavmorda. Fearing an ancient prophecy that said a baby would be born with the power to destroy her, the wicked queen ordered all pregnant women to be imprisoned. She locked them in the grim dungeon beneath Nockmar Castle and waited for news of the child's birth. Only then could she begin the ritual to undo the omen and end any opposition to her villainous reign forever. Far below the Queen's Tower, in a dark cell patrolled by Nockmar guards, a baby girl was born with a strange mark on her arm. The mother clasped the midwife's hand.
Please help me. They're going to kill her.
Ethna hesitated, then quickly bundled some rags in the shape of a baby and handed them to the mother.
Oh, thank you, Ethna.
Then she hid the real child in her basket and hurried past the guards, escaping just as Bavmorda swooped into the mother's cell.
I knew you'd be the one.
You can't stop the prophecy.
This child will have no power over me. Stop the ritual.
Bavmorda grabbed the rags and ripped them apart.
Baby!
She pointed at her daughter Sosha and ordered the young warrior to track down the baby.
Use the dogs. Bring her back to me alive.
Outside Nockmar Castle, the ferocious death dogs pursued the midwife. Just as the dogs were about to attack her, she placed the baby in a raft of twigs and pushed it out into the river. Downstream, in a land of little people called Nelwyns, two children found the baby. They showed it to their father, a farmer and aspiring sorcerer named Willow Ufgood.
Don't go near it. We don't know where it's been.
But Dad, it's a baby. It's not like us.
No, it's not an Elwyn. Looks like a Daikini baby.
What's a daikini?
Daikinis are big, giants who live far away.
Willow pulled his children away, and the baby whimpered.
Can't we keep it, Dada?
No. We'll push it downstream and forget we ever saw it.
Suddenly, Willow heard his name called by Burglecut, the village prefect. Willow dashed up to his plough, leaving his children with the baby.
Ufgood, you still haven't paid your debts to me. Where did you get these seeds?
Well, maybe I used magic.
You're no sorcerer, Ufgood. You're a clown. I sell clown seeds around here. Now tell me where you got them.
My family's been gathering them in the forest since last fall. There's no law against that Mr. Burglecut.
Magic? You'll need magic to expect to get your plans done before the rains start.
Burglecut stumped off, and Willow returned to the riverbank. He found his wife, Kaya, cradling the Daikini baby in her arms.
Kaya!
Oh, Willow.
Good girl.
Absolutely, under no condition whatsoever is anyone in this family to fall in love with that baby.
Smiling, Kaya stepped around Willow and headed home, still holding the baby.
Hey, I will not be ignored!
That night, Willow paced nervously as his wife bathed the child.
Willow, do you think we should take her to the village council?
No, they'll think it's a bad omen. There'll be a flood or a drought, and everyone will blame me for it. Willow Ufgood brought around that Daikini, didn't he? That's right, he's that lousy farmer too. Let's get him!
Willow, calm down.
Calm down. Kaya, tomorrow's my big day.
Love, the High Aldwin hasn't picked a new apprentice in years.
Tomorrow's gonna be different. I just know he's gonna pick me.
The next day, Willow stood on the stage at the Nelwyn Festival performing magic tricks.
And now, for my final amazing feat, I will make this entire pig disappear. Whoopity band, daroo, daroo.
Seconds later, it leapt out of a hidden pocket. Embarrassed, Willow climbed off the stage. He made his way across the festival to join the other candidates. They nervously faced an old and bearded wise man, the High Aldwin.
Magic is the bloodstream of the universe. Forget all you know, or think you know. All that you require is your intuition. Now, the power to control the world is in which finger?
Each candidate gave an answer. Willow was the last hopeful to choose. He hesitated, then selected one of the remaining fingers. The High Aldwin pounded his staff.
No apprentice this year.
Willow bowed his head, then heard shrieking and looked up. A ferocious death dog tore through the village, ransacking hut after hut, dragging empty cribs and cradles into the open. As Willow ran to safety, Nelwyn warriors drove their spears through the beast, killing it. A villager picked up a broken crib.
He was looking for somebody's baby.
Willow raced home and grabbed the Daikini child, then ran to the council building where an angry crowd had assembled. Burglecut shook his fist.
One beast we can kill, but there may be more. And you can be assured that he won't give up till they find what they're looking for.
He's righteous. Who's been blamed for this? He must find the culprits and throw him in the pit. Hello, Oscar. Come forward.
My children found this baby along by the river, Hollywood.
This child is special. This child must be taken beyond the boundaries of our village, all the way across the great river to the Daikini crossroads. But who do that? I will consult the bones. The bones have spoken. Willow Offgood, the safety of this village depends upon you.
Raise the bones!
Raise the bones! But you will need help. All this expedition needs is a leader. And according to the bones, that leader is you, Burglecut.
The next day, as a small band of Nelwyns prepared to set off, the High Aldwin pulled Willow aside.
When I held up my fingers, what was your first impulse? Well, it was stupid. Just tell me. Just pick my own finger. Ah, that was the correct answer. You lack faith in yourself more than anyone in the village. You have the potential to be a great sorcerer. Now, when you're out there, listen to your own heart. These will protect you. Incorns. They're magic. Anything you throw them at turns to stone.
Willow nodded gratefully and marched off with the others. Far away in Knockmar Castle, Sorsha raced into the Queen's Tower empty-handed. Suddenly, a huge, sinister figure wearing a death's head mask appeared in the doorway.
General Kale at last.
My queen, I have destroyed the castle at Galadorn.
Well done. But now I have another task for you. Help my daughter to find that tiny, helpless baby that continues somehow to elude her.
The baby of the prophecy. The one that would destroy you.
I need that baby alive. I must perform the ritual that will exile the child's spirit into oblivion. Find her.
Sorsha and Kale hurried out. One of Bavmorda's druids approached the Queen.
One day, I fear, your daughter will betray you.
I trust her loyalty more than I trust yours.
Meanwhile, the Nelwyns trekked across vast, fantastic terrain to reach the crossroads. When they arrived, Willow gazed down the deserted road, then up at a rag-filled cage dangling from a scaffold above him. Suddenly, a large arm reached out and yanked Willow into the air.
Give me some water, Peck, or you die. I understand.
Willow dropped to the ground and snatched up the baby. As the little people huddled in fear, Burglecut stared at the long-haired, disheveled prisoner.
It's Daikini. We're lucky.
We can't give it to him.
Somebody put him there for a reason.
We gotta give that baby to somebody.
I'm somebody. Let me out of here. I'll take care of the baby.
I trust him completely.
But he tried to strangle me.
I want to go home.
No, Burglecut. We should wait.
Are you challenging my authority?
As far as this baby's concerned, yes.
Fine. You stay here alone. We're going.
Burglecut stumped off with the other Nelwyns, leaving Willow alone with the Daikini.
I don't think I introduced myself. My name is Bad Mardigan.
I suppose you're a warrior.
I am the greatest swordsman that ever lived.
Say, can I have some of that water?
Yeah.
Thanks, friend. About 100 horses, 5 or 6 wagons, and about 1,000 fools.
An enormous army thundered through the crossroads. Amidst the din and dust, Willow attempted to draw the attention of an officer, a muscular daikini named Eric Thobair.
Excuse me, sir. We found one of your babies in our village. Will you please take care of her?
Going into battle, little ones. Find a woman to take care of her.
You thought you were a woman, Eric?
Well... Mad Madigan! I always knew you'd end up in a crow's cage.
Well, at least I'm not down there herding sheep. What are you doing this far north?
The Nockmaw army destroyed Galadorn. Bavmorda's troops are crushing everything in sight.
Well, come on, let me out of here, Eric. Give me a sword. I'll win this war for you.
Mad Mardigan, you serve no one. Remember? Sit in your coffin and rot.
Eric spurred his horse and galloped off.
Wait, Eric!
As Willow peered down the road, hoping another daikini would appear, Mad Mardigan fixed his gaze on the Nelwyn.
Nobody's gonna take care of that baby. You know why? Nobody cares. Except me. Let me take care of that baby. I'll look after her like she was my own.
Willow surveyed the desolate landscape and thought about his wife and children, far away in the Nelwyn village. Using his knife, he hacked open the cage.
You gotta promise to feed her and keep her clean.
Absolutely.
Here are changing rags and her milk bladder.
Any milk in there?
It's for her.
I wouldn't steal from a baby. You worry too much, Peck.
It's Willow.
I mean Willow. Willow, you've done the right thing.
Willow kissed the baby goodbye, and he and Mad Mardigan took off in different directions. Before long, Willow looked up and saw an eagle flying toward him. On its back was a tiny creature called a brownie, and in its claws, the baby.
Stop, wait, come back!
Willow dashed into the woods after the bird and fell headlong into a deep, dark pit. While he was unconscious, his wrists and feet were bound with rope by a bunch of giggling, tattooed brownies. Willow awoke, and the eagle's rider strutted up to him.
What's going on?
Shut up or I'll break your nose! You are mine to toy with. Forward!
Willow thrashed at his ropes as the brownies towed him deeper into the forest. Suddenly, a light pulsated behind the trees.
Release the Nelwyn.
Willow saw the baby in a bassinet, and as he ran to her, a diaphanous, sylph-like fairy materialized out of the glowing light.
Welcome to my kingdom. I am so happy to meet you, Willow Offgood.
How do you know my name?
Elora Dannon told me.
But she's just a baby.
Elora Dannon has chosen you to be her guardian.
Me?
She likes you. Take my wand, the sorceress Finrizel. She will guide you and Elora Dannon to the kingdom of Tirazleen.
You need a warrior for a job like this. I'm a nobody. I'm short, even for Nelwyn.
Elora Dannon must survive. She must fulfill her destiny and bring about the downfall of Queen Bavmorda, whose powers are growing like an evil plague. Unless she is stopped, Bavmorda will control the lives of your village, your children, everyone. All creatures of good heart need your help, Willow. The choice is yours.
Willow nodded grimly, then picked up the baby. He hurried through the forest, guided by the brownies Frangine and Rule.
How long will it take to find this Rizal?
Not long. She's been exiled to an island just over those hills.
She's what?
Exiled by the evil queen, Bavmorda.
You fool, he does not need to know everything.
I didn't tell him everything. You told him enough.
What do you mean? What are you saying, mysterious island?
This way.
No, I don't think so.
All right, then this way.
Are you sure you know where you're going?
Of course. With us as your guides, no harm will befall you.
Soon Willow spied a tavern and ran inside to find milk for Elora. There he saw a familiar face. It was Mad Mardigan, disguised as a woman.
Not you!
Where'd you come from?
I knew I shouldn't have trusted you.
Suddenly, Nockmaar soldiers burst through the door. Thinking quickly, Mad Mardigan grabbed the baby from Willow and faced the Nockmaar leader, a young woman covered in armor.
You! Are you the mother of that child? Yes, I am. Let me see it.
Willow jumped in front of Mad Mardigan.
No, don't let her.
I gave you an order, woman!
Sorcha grabbed for Elora, and Mad Mardigan elbowed her away, knocking her off balance. She ripped off her helmet, and long red hair tumbled over her shoulders.
You're beautiful.
And you're very strong.
Thank you.
Sorcha squinted suspiciously at Mad Mardigan.
You're no woman.
Mad Mardigan dashed across the room and leaped out of the window, followed by Willow and the Brownies.
After them!
The soldiers tumbled downstairs as Mad Mardigan and Willow dropped into a wagon beneath the window. Mad Mardigan seized the reins and sped off, bouncing over the muddy road.
Mad Mardigan, stop! You're gonna get us killed!
A Nockmar horseman galloped up and jumped into the wagon. Struggling to defend himself, Mad Mardigan grabbed a wooden stake off the wagon's side and smashed the minion to the ground. He urged the horses forward, and soon Mad Mardigan had outrun the troops.
Now we stop, Peck.
Mad Mardigan, you never, ever drive that fast with an infant.
I just saved that infant's life.
They leaped to the ground, and Mad Mardigan sent the wagon rattling down the road.
Get down.
You better clear out, Willow, before those troops come back.
Mad Mardigan, wait!
Go home, Willow. It's a dangerous world.
Yeah, and that's why we need your help.
My help? Huh. What do you need my help for? You're a sorcerer.
You're a great warrior and a swordsman. And you're 10 times bigger than I am, stupid!
Are you trying to make my life more difficult than it already is?
Look, I'm sorry I got angry. We wouldn't have escaped without you.
Well, don't expect me to help you again.
Good. Then we go that way, to the lake. Oh, no! That's the way I'm going. All right. You can follow me as far as the lake. But that's it.
Meanwhile, in Nockmar, the fiendish Queen Bavmorda faced her general.
Kale, have you found the child?
The search goes on, my queen.
Why, with my powers, with the strength of my great army, can you not find one little child?
We look even now. It won't be long.
Find the child! Find the child! Time is running out.
Far away, beside a dwindling campfire, Mad Mardigan watched Willow check on the dozing baby.
She is kind of cute when she's quiet.
She's really a princess.
Really? And you're a great sorcerer. And I'm the king of Kashmir. Go to sleep, Willow.
The next day, they approached a lake. As they drew near, Willow saw an island.
We made it.
Well, looks like I got you here. You? What did you do?
All you did was hang around and eat our eggs, huh?
I found a boat. We're all set.
Good.
Mad Mardigan!
What?
Thanks.
As the Daikini wandered off, Willow gazed apprehensively across the wind-whipped water. The brownies drew closer.
It's all right, Elora. Go to sleep. Nobody will find you here. I'll be back with Finn Rizal very soon.
We will guard her with our meager lives.
Willow rowed to the island and jumped ashore. A little possum scurried down a tree, hissing at him.
Who are you? I'm Willow Offgood. I've come to find the great sorceress, Finn Rizal.
That's me. I'm Razel.
This can't be right.
One of Bavmorda's spells transformed me.
Well, this wand is for you. It's from Sherlindria.
Then the prophecy is true. The princess has been born. Take me to her.
Willow took Razel across the lake. The brownies wrinkled their noses when they saw the possum.
That's Razel.
Don't know. I expected something more grand, less, fuzzy.
You must use the wand. Turn me back into my human form.
What do I do?
Maybe you're not a sorcerer.
Yes. Sorta. I'm a farmer, but I do know a few tricks.
Tricks? Shalindria sent you. You must learn real magic.
Horses!
Several Nockmar soldiers rode up with a prisoner. It was Mad Mardigan.
Sorry about this, Peck.
A soldier pushed Mad Mardigan off his horse, then reached for Elora.
No! Give her back!
The soldier grabbed the baby as Sorsha and her troops galloped up. They tossed Roselle into a cage, then chained Mad Martigan and Willow to a wagon. The brownies hid, watching the caravan head for the forbidding snow-covered mountains.
We'll never keep up with those horses.
Are you suggesting we go home?
Now this is about fun.
Meanwhile, Willow and Mad Martigan struggled along behind the wagon containing Roselle.
Doesn't sound good.
Hurry! Back to the jet, I thought.
Tanner. Go up, I can't remember the middle part.
No more! That's the word that pleads for change.
Sorsha rode up alongside the prisoners patrolling her troops. She caught Mad Martigan staring up at her.
What are you staring at?
Your leg. I'd like to break it.
You may find that difficult, slave, while I'm up here and you're down there.
Sorsha spurred her horse and galloped off.
I hate that woman.
The convoy forged deeper into the icy mountains. As they neared their destination, pinpoints of light flared into ominous, flickering campfires. Mad Martigan saw a sinister figure ride out to meet them. Sorsha showed him the baby.
You're late.
I found it, Carrie.
The soldiers shoved Mad Martigan and Willow into a jail cell and hung Roselle's cage nearby. After they left, Willow knelt over a bowl containing a muddy mixture of snow and dirt.
Hither, Woha, Bern, Drew, Bordak, Belanocht.
That's magic? It smells terrible.
It's the life spark. It forms after...
Well, it stinks. This whole thing stinks.
Ignore him, Willow. He's a fool.
Willow stirred the concoction with Shalindria's wand.
Willow, you must transform me to my human self. Get me down.
Willow tried to reach her cage with a stick but couldn't stretch far enough. Mad Martigan reluctantly poked the cage and it crashed to the ground, freeing Roselle.
Why don't you let me get out of here instead of chattering with that muskrat?
Muskrat, when I change back to my former self, I will crush this army and take Elora Dannon to Tir Asli, where she will be safe.
Ow! What you bite me for?
You need 3 drops of your blood to put in the potion.
Well, you could have warned me.
Willow applied the blood, smearing it on the gnarled branch.
For beginners, there's some pain, but don't let anything break your concentration.
Suddenly, the brownies bounced into the cell.
Hello, everybody! We have arrived!
You are saved.
Shh! Don't interrupt.
Hither, Green and Ben, Clyde up Lunanocht.
Concentrate, Willow.
Hither, Green and Ben, Clyde up Lunanocht. Hither, Green and Ben, Clyde up Lunanocht.
Roselle's body contorted, and her fur stiffened into the shiny black feathers of a raven. Willow dropped the wand and rubbed his aching wrist.
Farmers! Chillindia sends me farmers.
Sir Nelwyn really butchered that one.
I'm sorry, Roselle.
You want out?
Easy. We can pick the lock. Come on.
The brownies attempted to pry open the lock with their tiny spears, and Mad Martigan leaned closer.
No, like this.
I know what I'm doing. It's my sphere. Leave it alone.
Let me do it.
You leave that alone, you stupid fat daikini!
Frangine whacked Mad Martigan across the nose with his hip pouch, and a powdery love potion called Dust of Broken Heart flew into his face. The brownies clicked open the lock, and Mad Martigan stumbled out of the cell. Willow yanked him behind the tent, where Sorsha and the baby slept.
Only one of us should go in there. I've got experience in this sort of thing. I know what I'm doing.
As Willow stood guard, Mad Martigan crept inside and tiptoed past Sorsha's bed. He noticed how beautiful she looked in her soft nightdress and bent to kiss her, unaware that he was under the spell of the magic dust.
Oh, Sorsha. Wake from this hateful sleep. It deprives me of your beauty. The beauty of your eyes.
Startled awake, Sorsha drew a dagger and held it against Mad Martigan's throat. The lovesick Mad Martigan ignored the blade and continued to babble as Willow sneaked into the tent, creeping toward the baby.
You are my sun, my moon, my starlit sky. Without you, I dwell in darkness. I love you.
What are you doing here?
Your power has enchanted me. I stand helpless against it. Come to me now. Tonight, let me worship you in my arms.
Get away from me!
I love you.
Stop saying that!
Stop the beating of my heart. It pounds like never before.
Out of fear.
Out of love.
I can stop it. I'll kill you.
Death next to love is a trivial thing. Your touch is worth 100,000 deaths.
Trembling, Sorsha leaned toward him. Just as she was about to receive Mad Mardigan's kiss, Kale ripped open the canvas.
What goes on here?
The general grabbed Willow and the baby and tossed them onto some straw. Sorsha saw the empty crib and backed away from Mad Mardigan.
Deceiver!
She lunged at Mad Mardigan, and he rolled backward, kicking the dagger out of her hand. He grabbed her sword and slashed his way out of the tent, where a band of Nockmar soldiers waited. Fending them off, he glimpsed Willow with a baby and pointed to a shield skidding across the ice.
Get on that shield!
As arrows rained around them, Mad Mardigan leaped beside Willow, and they slid down the mountainside. Mad Mardigan called back to Sorsha.
Sorsha!
The makeshift sled bounced over snowdrifts and zigzagged between trees, finally crashing into a village at the bottom. They emerged from the snow unscathed.
And Mardigan,
What happened up there?
you started spouting poetry.
Poetry?
Yeah. I love you, Sorsha. I worship you, Sorsha. You almost got us killed.
I love you, Sorsha. I don't love her. She kicked me in the face. I hate her. Do I?
Suddenly, Kale and 20 horsemen charged toward him. A sympathetic villager hurried them into a dark cellar crowded with other fugitives. Mad Mardigan recognized a familiar shape and slammed him against the wall.
You left me to die, Eric. I probably saved your life. We were slaughtered and I lost a lot of supplies.
Sorsha kicked open the door to their hiding place and descended the steps. As she squinted into the darkness, Mad Mardigan grabbed her and held a knife to her throat. He gripped his hostage and led Willow and the rebels past the Nockmar soldiers.
Back!
Back!
You'll never defeat us! Give up the baby!
Eric gazed at Alora Dannon.
What does that boy want with this baby anyway?
She's a princess. We're taking her to Terraslene.
Terraslene? Even if he could find Peck, she's right. You'd never get past the Nockmar army.
There's an even bigger army at Terraslene. We can just get there.
I've lost more than half my men fighting Bad Morda. Now you and this Peck are gonna take her on. You always told me you served no one, Mad Mardigan. Since when are you a crusader? He's not gonna help you, Peck. He's a worthless thief.
I'm not a thief, Eric.
He's not a thief, are you?
Mad Mardigan paused, then faced the rebel soldier.
I served the Nelwyn, Eric. You want to come with us?
You'll never make it, Mad Mardigan.
And once again, we say goodbye.
Mad Mardigan helped Willow and the baby onto one horse, then hauled Sorsha up onto another. She screamed, and the soldiers drew their bows.
Weapons down where she stands!
They galloped off into the snow, with Razel flying above them.
This way! This way! At the crow flies, you fools!
Edging into a narrow canyon, Mad Mardigan and Sorsha trailed behind Willow.
Did I really say those things last night in your tent?
You said you loved me.
I don't remember that.
You lied to me.
No, I just wasn't myself last night.
I suppose my power enchanted you and you were helpless against it.
Sort of.
Then what?
Went away.
Went away. I dwell in darkness without you and it went away.
She elbowed him hard and struggled free. He leaped off his horse and tackled her in a muddy stream. They stared into each other's eyes.
Hurry! Kale's coming!
Mad Mardigan jumped up and dragged Sorsha, kicking and scratching to his horse. Suddenly, she punched him and ran. Mad Mardigan dashed after her.
Mad Mardigan, come on!
They're coming! Away!
Leaving Sorsha behind, Mad Mardigan mounted his horse and took off after Willow. They galloped into a valley carpeted with flowers. Before them stood a magnificent castle.
Terraslene! At last! Terraslene!
Razel soared over the castle wall, and Mad Mardigan and Willow rushed into the courtyard, unprepared for the eerie scene awaiting them. people of Tir Asleen were frozen inside chunks of crystal, the victims of Bavmorda's curse.
Why did I listen to you, Peck?
Everything will be all right once we get to Tir Asleen.
The only army around here is the one that's about to ride across this valley and wipe us out!
But Cherilindria said we'd be safe here.
Safe? Look at these people. This place is cursed, Peck.
This is the work of Bavmorda! Willow, the wand.
Are you sure?
Transform me.
I can't do it. I'm just not a sorcerer.
But you can be, speak, and be one with the words.
He tried to concentrate, but was distracted by the battle cry of the approaching Nakmar army. This time, Razel turned into a goat.
Willow, you idiot!
Razel?
Inside the castle, Mad Martigan discovered a golden suit of armor. He put it on and raced outside.
Willow! On that catapult up there!
Willow hid Elora Danon and crossed a bridge in search of the catapult stone. On the other side, a hideous hairy troll blocked his way. It grabbed Willow and dangled him in front of its mouth.
Willow, use the wand!
Willow whipped out Shalindria's wand and whacked the troll on the head.
Belladot! Take that, troll!
The troll disintegrated into a blob of jiggling jelly. Willow kicked it into the moat below, hoping no one would notice his latest mistake. The moat began to bubble and fizz. Suddenly, the Nakmar army arrived, cornering Mad Martigan below.
Death to Nakmar!
Get him! Just when he seemed outnumbered, a huge two-headed monster rose out of the moat. Breathing fire, it roared at the soldiers and sent them fleeing. Then it spotted Willow. Mad Martigan jumped onto one head and pierced its skull with his sword. The monster's throat filled up with gas and exploded, sending Mad Martigan reeling backward into a nest of Nakmar soldiers. Sorsha looked on and saw the valiant warrior Mad Martigan fight so hard and so bravely for the life of this child and her Nelwyn protector. And suddenly, she could take no more. Seeing Mad Martigan trapped on the ground, she raced to his side and pulled him into her arms. Behind them, Kale emerged from the castle with Elora Danon in his clutches. Abruptly, he raced off toward Nakmar. Mad Martigan looked around.
Willow!
The Nelwyn staggered out of the castle, wounded.
Elora's gone! They've taken her. There were too many of them.
Let's ride.
Mad Martigan scooped him up and motioned for Razel to follow them. With Sorsha alongside, they rode out of Tir Asleen. There, Eric Thobert appeared with the rebel troops. They pursued Kale and his army to Nakmar Castle. The drawbridge was shut tight.
We need towers and a battering ram. Break out the tents. Make camp.
Make camp!
We'll assault at first light.
Pacing inside her tower, Queen Bavmorda admitted General Kale.
Where's Sorsha?
She has turned against us, Your Highness.
Turned against me.
Prepare for the ritual!
Bavmorda's druids took the terrified baby, and the Queen rushed to the castle wall, where she could look down on the army that Eric and Mad Martigan had assembled. She cackled fiendishly, and Razel, still in the shape of a goat, butted Willow into a tent.
Willow, quick! Use the scepter chant. Protect yourself.
Why?
Just do it.
Outside, Mad Martigan faced the Queen.
We've come for Elora Danon.
You dare to challenge me? You're not warriors. You're pigs. Munda! You're all pigs! Pigs!
Mother, no!
Along with the rebel soldiers, Sorsha's body expanded and contorted into the shape of a pig. Soon the mountainside was filled with the fleshy animals pushing against each other. Bavmorda returned to her tower and hailed her druids.
Begin the ritual.
This baby will not live to destroy
toy me. The Queen glared up toward a large circular hole in the roof.
Thunder! Come, lightning! Touch this altar with your powers!
Outside, Willow crept from the tent. Seeing the mass of grunting pigs, he turned to Razel.
We come all this way and now Elora Danan's gonna die.
No, we can still defeat Bavmorda.
She's too powerful, Razel.
Transform me, and I'll destroy her.
Willow drew a hexagram around Razel and began to chant.
Elements of eternity, above and below. Balance of essence. Fire begets snow.
Razel's transformation began. Willow struggled to retain his concentration and strength.
Not toward Danalora. Tuatha Danu. Tuatha. Snots Danu. Lord Danalora. Tuatha Danu. Tuatha. Snots Danu.
Razel continued to change. First into a partly grotesque creature, then a deer, and finally an elderly, once beautiful woman.
Willow, we have work to do. Give me the wand. We must undo Bavmorda's sorcery.
Using her magic, Razel turned the pigs back into warriors. With Mad Mardigan as Sorcerer beside him, Eric gloomily eyed the Queen's tower.
We can't get inside.
Elora Danan will die.
No! She cannot transform you again. My spell is protecting this camp.
But can your magic get us inside the fortress?
Razel shook her head.
We can't do it.
Wait! Back home in my village, we have a lot of gophers.
Willow, this is war, not agriculture.
I know. But I have an idea how to get inside the castle.
At dawn, with one more ghastly ritual for Bavmorda to perform, Willow and Razel stood alone outside the fortress, surrounded by empty tents. They shouted up to Kale.
We call upon you to surrender!
We are all powerful sorcerers. Give us the baby, or we'll destroy you.
Roaring with laughter, Kale ordered his men to kill them. Kill them! The drawbridge dropped. Willow trembled and raised a spear with two hands.
Patience, Willow.
Courage, Willow.
Then, as the soldiers approached them, Willow smashed his spear on a ward rock. Suddenly, the entire landscape came to life. Rebel soldiers sprung from the pits and trenches where they'd been hiding. They stormed the castle while Sorcerer led Razel and Willow inside. Willow stood watch on the stairway while Sorcerer and Razel climbed the corkscrew steps to the tower. There they confronted the Queen, her face grotesquely transfigured by the ritual. Beside her were two druid guards.
Mother!
Traitor child, I must despise you now.
She waved her hand and the druids attacked. Sorcerer killed them both, then rushed toward Elora Danan, who lay under a death-like spell on the copper altar.
I won't let you kill that child.
Away! About to strike!
Lightning exploded overhead. Bavmorda used her magic to trap Sorcerer in a powerful energy force. The Queen levitated her daughter toward a wall of spikes, and just as Sorcerer was about to be impaled, another force stopped her.
Your powers have gained in strength, Razel.
I have Shalindria's wand, Bavmorda. Elora Danan will be queen.
They clashed in a vicious tug-of-war, using their powers to pitch fireballs across the room. As they battled, Willow abandoned his safe post on the stairway and crept into the tower. He inched toward the baby, dodging sparks and flying objects. Just as he grabbed the baby, Bavmorda choked Razel, and the sorceress slumped to the floor. The Queen noticed the empty altar and slammed the door shut, trapping Willow inside.
Who are you?
I'm Willow Ufgood. I'm a great sorcerer. Greater than Razel. Greater than you, even. I'm the greatest sorcerer.
Willow dug into his pocket and tossed one of the High Aldwin's magic acorns at Bavmorda. Her hand shot out and she caught it, crushing it in her fingers.
Is that the extent of your powers, little one? Now you will watch me draw upon the power of the universe to send the child into another world. Now place it on the altar.
No.
No?
You stupid hag! With my magic, I'll send her into a...
You're no sorcerer!
into a realm where evil cannot touch her.
Impossible! There's no such place!
Willow whipped his cape around, and the baby disappeared. Enraged, she backed up and knocked over a sorcery bowl on the edge of the altar. Fluid spilled and collected in a pool at her feet. She screamed and raised her wand as the sky brightened with lightning. A bolt of lightning shot in through the ceiling and struck her. The evil queen burst into flame, shriveling into a pile of ash. Across the room, Razel began to revive.
Willow, where's the baby?
He opened his cloak so Razel could see the sleeping baby tucked inside.
It was just my old disappearing pig trick.
Well done!
Elora Danan's eyes opened and sunlight flooded the tower. The next day, the freed court of Tir Asleen joined the triumphant rebels to bid Willow goodbye. Sorsha held Princess Elora in her arms, and Mad Mardigan stood proudly beside them. Razel appeared dressed in druid robes.
Willow of Good, receive this book of magic. You are on your way to becoming a great sorcerer.
Everyone applauded as Willow humbly accepted the gift. Sorsha and Mad Mardigan brought the baby forward. Willow gazed at the child, then leaned down and kissed her.
Goodbye, Laura Dannon.
Mad Mardigan lifted Willow onto the back of a white pony and warmly shook his hand. Willow rode across the lush valley, headed for home. In the Nelwyn village, the people saw Willow coming. They swarmed around him, wild with excitement.
Willow!
Higher!
He jumped off his pony and ran to embrace his wife. His children leaped on him, hugging him tightly. Before his family, in front of the Nelwyn villagers, in view of the venerable High Aldwyn, Willow plucked an apple from his saddlebag and tossed it into the air. It burst into the shape of a bird and flew off into the clouds. The people raised their voices in salute to Willow, the only sorcerer who could have saved Elora Dannon, and the mythical, magical world they inhabited.